thinking, got me thinking. How can I come up and get myself a Lincoln?
Hey, it's Jason ODB, aka the Lincoln Addict here. Wanted to hit you guys with a new video, an unboxing of some new convertible parts, and wanted to just remind everyone, you want to make sure that you're following John Cashman on Instagram. It's the Lincoln Man. He has a link to his website, convertiblelincolns.com. You can click the link right there in his bio. It will take you to his website. He does have products listed there, everything ranging from new rear view mirrors for these 60 era Lincoln, especially the convertibles. Like on my car, the rear view mirror gets some surface rust on it. You can sometimes clean that up, but if you're looking just for an out of the box a replacement, John has those. He also, of course, is the main guy that travels the US and essentially fixes and works on these cars. If you're interested in his services, make sure you follow him, the Lincoln Man, on Instagram. He is getting ready to travel from Palm Springs back over to Florida, his old stomping ground, as John would say. And if you're in his path, he will, you can get in contact with him and he will fix your car, whether it be the top or the windows. So if you're here in the state of Florida or in the Southeast and, maybe John Cashman's not an option for you, what I would say is reach out to me. One of our good friends here, Blair Farmer, he has been working on these Lincoln Continentals for well over 40 years. He has a company, Lincoln Continental Services, here in the Clearwater area. He can take care of getting your windows working. He can also, if you have a convertible, take care of the rear auto drops, as well as getting the top working in tip-top condition. You can bring the vehicle up here. You have to talk to Blair first to kind of schedule that. Right now the shop is full, but you have plenty of options. If you have one of these cars, whether it be a sedan and you're having challenges with the windows or other mechanical challenges, or if you've got a convertible and obviously you're running into hiccups or challenges, fear not, there is help out there. Also, thelincolnforum.net is a fantastic place to go sign up for a free username and then search until your heart's content. There's tons of great information out there. I always recommend as well these service manuals for whatever year Lincoln. These are reproduced. You can sometimes find the original ones on eBay, but just know that you gotta own at least this book, and then there's additional books on John Cashman's website that you can purchase for a very reasonable price. John will tell any of his customers. You may have also heard him on a recent episode of the Lincoln Addict podcast that I host, and John mentioned having some of these manuals with you. Even if he services your car, down the road you might run into a hiccup. You want to have the literature so that you can easily diagnose the challenge that you're having, get your top up or down, so on and so forth. Okay, so with that being said, what I have today is, I mentioned, if you go to John Cashman's website, you can purchase or work directly through him via a phone call to order all of the parts for your Lincoln Continental convertible. So 1961 through 1967, and it's pretty simple. If you're a do-it-yourselfer type person, some of these things you can do on your own in terms of upgrading the system. If you are a person that isn't mechanically inclined or just don't feel like you want to, take the plunge and work on your convertible, then by all means call someone like John Cashman. His number is listed on the website. He is a person that always reinforces that his, any feedback that he gives or any help assistance over the phone, it's for free. He's willing to do that and work with you the best he can. Of course, what I always tell people is support those that support you. So if he gives you that phone assistance and there's an opportunity to buy some parts, go through John and do it. That helps him. And again, if there's other challenges that you're having, or John's not in your line of sight where he travels, then by all means hit me up. We'll get you in contact with Blair Farmer if you're over here in the Southeast, and he'll take care of you. So before I jump into this box, which I just cut open a moment ago, I haven't even looked at it, I would just ask that if you like this video, subscribe. Also, I do host a podcast, Lincoln Addict podcast. I produce and host it. We have 8 or 9 episodes out there. So download Podbean if you're on Android. If you're on iPhone, you can also download Podbean, or you can go to the pre-installed Podcasts app, which some people don't even realize they have. It's a purple application. Again, it's pre-installed on iPhone, and you can search Lincoln Addict podcast or Lincoln Addict. Subscribe, get a chance to listen. You'll hear me, ODB, aka the Lincoln Addict, and I like to provide updates. I'm a big fan of these cars if you've watched previous videos. Also, my friend Nathan Wilson over at Driving Dreams Restorations. Search that phrase on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. He's killing it with his videos. He's a really passionate guy about these cars. Okay, so first and foremost, my car, my 1964 Lincoln Continental, I had worked through John to get the flapper motor repaired. Basically, there's a gear inside there, and there's a few pieces that will break. So once I got that done and John shipped me that, Blair at Lincoln Continental Services helped install that and dial that in, is what I call it. There is a switch on there that limits the flapper when, as John would say, when the top or the deck lid is erect, the flapper starts to come out. The switch will tell it how far to go and how far to come back in. So got all that working fine, again, working through John and Blair. Then the lines blew out. So 50+ year old car, the lines were nasty, and of course you have ATF fluid, automatic transmission fluid type F in your system, and biggity boom, ran into that challenge. So I finally kind of waited a little bit, and I ordered the parts, and this is one of the main things you'll get when you order through John. You will get an entire line kit. So everything is pre-cut, all of the really nice fittings on there, and I can tell you this is probably going to last longer than the original, which if it lasts 55 years, I'll be happy. But again, here's your line kit that you'll get. You do have to specify, for the most part, what I always tell folks is specify what year car that you have. So it makes it a little bit easier. John will, of course, ask you that. Okay, you can see the nice packaging here, all cardboard. I recently dealt with a packing challenge. If you've listened to Lincoln Addict podcast, and to me, it's the utmost importance for these companies to pack things well enough so that you don't run into challenges. I forgot to grab my scissors here. So you got basically one smaller guy and one bigger guy here. Okay, what I'm going to show you here is essentially a couple of packages that you get. You get these two, these kind of cylinder type cardboard pieces, and then you also end up with this other one that's pretty tightly wrapped. Here you have the solenoids. So you get 3 of these if you order the entire kit. And these solenoids, you have to, it's best to go ahead and upgrade and replace these, okay? This kit, to me, is you get one price, you get everything in the box, it's shipped fairly quickly. I received this package within a week, actually just a couple of days of ordering. So you end up with the solenoids. You'll see there's 3 of those here. Then you end up with the convertible top and the deck lid cylinders here. So there's 2 each of these guys, right? So again, kind of the same thing. It's like, look, if you're gonna upgrade your car, the car's 50+ years old, get the entire kit because you'll be happy that you did. Now, on my car, and depending on your budget, you may decide, well, gosh, I can't afford the price to buy everything, okay? The thing that I would suggest to you is you can buy these items a la carte. So if you just want to do the hoses and you think everything else is fine, then do that. But again, you save a little bit of money, it seems like, when you buy it all together. And then the last thing is very cool. You get the pump, okay? These pumps look exactly like the one that's in the car, okay? On the 64, it's in the passenger side rear, and it's, again, it's spot on if you're, concerned about the look of it, right? In my car, the pump was, it was basically tired. And what we did at Lincoln Continental Services, to test it, they had an extra pump there, and we swapped out the pump, and we, basically started to bleed the system, which is something that you have to do. Have to do another video on that once I start to install these items, these parts, if you will. But once we started bleeding the system, and we kind of had it, full of ATF Type F fluid, that's when the lines blew out. So basically, the pump was tired, and you get this pump, boom, in the kit. So thanks to everyone that has continued to help me out and help build my knowledge of these cars. Just want to say I appreciate you guys. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend and this video helped you.
Got me thinking, how can I come up and get myself a